unless you want to have a big measure. You want to have a big what measure. If you do mini braids, I don't want to hear Pem. I don't want to hear Pem. I don't want to hear Pem. Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. I am JC. If you are new here, from Just Lost JC here, oh whatever. Yeah. I decided to do this video because I was getting a lot of questions on my updated wash day routine. So I figured I'd make a video telling you all how I think the best way to wash your hair when you're trying to wash it the way I'm washing it for this growth journey. Just to catch you up, if you're new here, unfortunately I went through a natural hair setback, and so I've been on this journey with all of you guys on this channel to grow back my hair as quickly as possible. So one of the ways in which I'm trying to do that was doing my wash day routine a bit different. So instead of detangling and washing all of the same day, I decided instead that I'm going to be washing my hair in twists and only detangling once when I retwist, to cut back on the amount of times that my fingers in my hair, to really let it grow through this quarantine period. So that is that on that. So I just want to let you guys know the best way that I think and how I'm able to get away, some tips and tricks for those of you guys that have attempted to do it in the past, like you said in the comments, but you had some tangling, some matting, or for those of you guys that want to do it, have never done it, and I just want to give you some advice to make sure that it goes hopefully as smoothly as possible. I personally have 4B, 4C hair, mainly 4C hair, which we know has a very coily, irregular kind of curl and coil pattern, which means that it's easily tangled, which means it's also the best, if I'm gonna, you know, pat ourselves on the back, for doing styles like locks, for doing things like protective styles. Because it's so coily, these styles can stay in without rubber bands, it can stay in without you having to do any extra to keep it, because your hair kind of just conforms to that. So you can see how that could be a bit problematic for some people if you're now washing your hair in twists, because you don't necessarily want to form locks. You don't want those twists to stay twisted for the rest of your life, child. You still want to have the fro going. You want to let your so glow. I'm just gonna start off with a bang. I personally would not wash my personal type of hair in mini twists. Now, just because I have 4C hair doesn't mean we have the same type of 4C hair. Just because I have 4B hair doesn't mean we would have the same type of 4B hair. For my personal hair, mini twisting, hapu that in. I said hapu that in. Leave that in. That's for my hair. I have to leave that thing. Inuna ihem kuka. You hear what I'm saying? I just couldn't do it. So my tip to make it smooth for me, and maybe for you, if you're gonna try it for the first time, maybe don't try it in mini twists. I feel like those have more of a tendency to lock up or be hard to untwist once you're done washing them. That's gonna be that. My other tip, which I actually got from you guys, and I have done this in the past, so I think I know it to be true as well. Washing in braids actually seems to be a better option than twists. The thing is, I don't wear my hair in braids. I don't style my hair in braids, so it's not really in braids. I'm just washing it the way I style it and the way I wear it most of the time, and most of the time my protective style of choice are twists, which is the reason that I decided to go with twists. But if you're open to trying whatever, okay, if you have your hair out and want to braid it or twist it to try this method, I would suggest braids, like a lot of other people had suggested in the comments of my previous video about this. One, because braids are just way tighter than twists in terms of keeping the hair compact, in terms of keeping the hair together and as concise and you know, just tangle free as possible. Twists are a bit more loose, and once you wash them, they get way looser. So of course you're gonna have your hairs being more free and more easily able to tangle. And also with braids, you can get it tighter at the roots, which is another thing when you wash your hair in twists. Some people notice a lot of tangling at the roots, which is kind of normal. But if you braid your hair, you can get a tighter grip at the root, which means it's less tangling. There's still gonna be tangles. That's just how the cookie crumbles, okay? Again, I wouldn't say mini braids unless you want to have a big measure. You want to have a big what measure. If you do mini braids, I don't want to hear Pem. I don't want to hear Pem. I don't want to hear Pem. But those of you guys that have washed in mini braids, tell me how that goes, because I'm very curious. I personally have washed my hair in braids with attachments before, and I've washed my hair in corn braids before. This is years ago, but it was fine. Everything was great. I was able to, there was not any more or less tangling than usual. So I can co-sign those things. Mini braids, mini twists. I'm just gonna stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to, child. Okay? I don't know much about that. Getting into the tips and tricks that I have for washing your hair in twists. The first tip that I would say is deep condition. Just because you're washing your hair in twists, you don't want to skip that step because it does soften up the hair. I feel like when your hair is harder and when it's coarser because it is dry, and then you're just putting water straight on it, I think it's more likely to stick together and to want to mat and to become kind of Brillo patty-ish and stick, especially if your hair is like my texture or reacts like my hair does. For me, having the deep conditioner in there really helps. Of course, we all know, I think deep conditioners or ketones. I'll just put the thing on, I don't know how to pronounce it. Ketones. Cations. Please. But they're positively charged. So having conditioner in your hair kind of helps scientifically have each strand somewhat want to separate as opposed to want to stick together, which for me helps. So make sure you properly coat each twist, each braid, whatever it is, with deep conditioner, because softening up the hair is only going to help when you're detangling and it is dry and you're doing the aftercare. Also, the longer that you keep the conditioner in, the softer the hair becomes. I like to sit with a plastic bag over my head. That's just the way I like to do it, especially like this, to really let it get in there because I don't want any tangling. Another thing that is very important is when you are applying the conditioner, the motion in which you do it, I think is very important. So I like to go down the hair. I'm not doing all of this and with the twist and being all rough, because to me that's just going to cause tangles. I like to do every section as similarly as possible, and the motion that I like to do is going down, and I'm trying to get because you make sure you want to have the product go through out the hair. So for me, the way I'm able to do that and get it in with a twist or braid is to squeeze it so that I know that it's penetrating the inner layers of the twist or the braid or whatever it is. Don't be crimpling and crumpling. Don't be doing crinkum crankum. Just, you know, a little bit of this. You don't have to do all this. You don't have to do all this. You don't really want to disturb the pattern and the flow of the original twist that you put in your hair. Alright, so boom, you made it through that, and now you're in the shower. Listen. For me, again, I focus on my scalp. You guys know I love as I am, so that's the one that I like to use to cleanse my scalp. But when I'm cleansing, I focus on the scalp mainly. You don't want to be rubbing all through the hair and all this and this and this and this, because your hair has been in twists. I'm presuming that is more clean than when it's just out and about. But yeah, I'm assuming that it's more clean than when it's just been out and about. So you don't really have to do this deep cleanse. Now I know some people really like to get in there with their shampoo or whatever. Again, when you're getting in there, I would highly suggest not disrupting the curl pattern too much, not disrupting the flow of the twist that you originally put in your hair when you were styling it. I would suggest squeezing that product through. I would suggest focusing on the scalp. Don't get me wrong, you really want to use the pads of your fingers and get in there. I use a bat, and this is important. This is really important when you have some kind of protective styling that you're washing in, because the main place that you will get the most tangles, especially when you're doing your hair the next time and retwisting it, is going to be at the roots. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's just the way life is, okay? So to minimize that as much as possible, you really want the motion that you're doing on your scalp to be necessary and intentional, to have integrity. Are you getting? So you're not gonna be doing all of this. You're not gonna be doing all circles and different motions. I suggest a back and forth, whether you do it this way, back and forth, but don't go in circles, because then you're just creating more tangles. You're already gonna get tangles. Tangles is normal. Tangles is going to be usual, especially at the roots. That's just a fact. So yes, I think cleansing the scalp is 100% important. You guys know we have been applying our oils. If you're on this channel and if you're on this challenge, you know about the oils we're applying to our scalp. So of course you really do want to make sure you have a clean, healthy breeding ground for some new fresh hair, because that's what we're trying to do in the growth journey. Am I right? Right. Right. And of course, when you're trying to get the cleanser through the rest of your hair, highly, highly, highly recommend squeezing, the same squeezing motion. Trust me, your hair is not that dirty. Unless you do a mud baths and slipping and sliding in the mud, it's not that dirty that you need to do all this with your shampoo and your cleanser. A good squeeze to get it all through, and just let it run. The water will run and gravity will do its thing. Okay, what's that? So yeah, those will be my main tips. I'm trying to keep the amount of tips very short because honestly, the process of washing my hair in protective styles for me has actually been really, really quick, and I really like the time difference that I have with the wash. But all in all, I do like this method. Like I said, I'm going to keep it up for the 6 months. I might even go longer depending on the hair goals that I want to achieve and the hair goals that we achieve, guys. You're doing this with me? Okay. I've been playing around with oils, you guys know, because I'm trying to also minimize the amount of shedding. My shedding is actually back to normal, but because I'm trying to thicken it up, I'm like, can I lessen the shedding altogether, you know? I don't know if that's possible. Slow and steady wins the race. It's fine, but I am playing around with oil, so hopefully at some point I'll be able to show you guys that. Give you guys a little taste, honey. But it's working. The oil I'm using, it's working, honey. The one that we made together, it's working, honey. So let me know if you guys are keeping up with that. Just also know, having tangles at the roots is 100% normal. It is going to happen. When you are retwisting your hair, that is a whole nother story. Maybe I'll make a video doing a more detailed thing of how I retwist my hair. Not necessarily the after care as in the products I put in, which I have a video like that, but the actual dividing the sections, because it does take a bit more time to retwist when you have it all in twist and the parts are a bit disturbed now after as much time as you've had them in. It's just easy peasy. It does take a bit of work, especially if you're not just trying to rip through your hair. But yeah, just slow and steady with redefining the parts when you're retwisting. That's normal. Don't freak out. Mine too. Okay? Let me know if this was helpful. I really hope it was. Because I do want as many people to try this as possible, and I did get a few comments in my last video saying that they have tried washing their hair and it was a total mishap. So I'm just trying to give as much tips as possible. Let me know how that's going for you guys. Like I said, I hope this was helpful. And yeah, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram doing bits. I'm doing bits, loaf. Do you get me? Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Me huo echere. 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 Yeah, okay, people that speak tree, you let me know. You let me know how that went.
Well. Next question. See ya.
You know, we try. Ultimately, that's what it's all about, the effort. Yeah. Okay, how do I